This is going to be a review for In a Violent Nature. So just watch this. Um, this movie definitely pissed some people off, and I could see why. I didn't hate the movie, but it is kind of boring and just kind of wanders around. I mean, this is basically a Jason movie, Friday the 13th Jason, from Jason's perspective. So they're like, I get it. They're trying to do something new and different, which I can appreciate. Um, and some parts I did like. There's some good shots in the forest of him walking through the forest. There's no music in the movie. Uh, for a while the movie had me, but then, after like by the last 20 minutes, I was just like, all right, let's just finish this up because it's just the same thing over and over again. There are some good kills in it. I do kind of like the mask he wears, which is I think like like an old forester's like mask, and I think the things he's using with the chains and the hooks are like the forester lockers would use back in the day. They tell a story about a little kid, and it's basically it's Jason, but it's different. It doesn't involve water. um but yeah, the movie's just kind of boring, and I was just like, after like an hour, I was like, okay, I get it. Let's just end the movie. So, but basically, he is like this undead creature, and he's buried in the ground, and there's this locket that is keeping his body from resurrecting. And then you don't see these people, but they take the locket, and it's in this shackled house, just like Jason lives in Friday the 13th. And then he reemerges, and then he goes and takes the locket from the guy. But then it cuts to this group of other people, these like, I don't know, teenagers or whatever, early 20s, and they're partying and doing drugs and drinking and having a bonfire. And he is kind of watching them for a while, and then one of them has the locket. I was kind of confused on that. I was like, wait, didn't he just take the locket from that guy? Doesn't that I don't know, unless I missed something. That made no sense to me. And I don't really want to go back and watch this movie again, so but it's like in the beginning he takes it from this guy who's setting these traps in this public woods, which he's not allowed to do, and he gets yelled at by the ranger, who appears later in the movie also, who has all this knowledge about this creature. I'm just going to call him knockoff Jason. There was a cool shot when he with that guy, the first guy that had the locket, like with the hand, and he's grabbing towards him, and then it cuts to the hand, and he's grabbing towards the locket, and his hand's covered in blood. That was an awesome shot, or series of shots. So I'll give it that. But then there's the group of teenagers, and they have a locket on. And then I don't know, it doesn't make them. It makes no sense. So I didn't get that at all. And then it's just him walking through the woods with no music. There is a nice kind of atmosphere with the woods, and there's some beautiful shots. I think it was shot somewhere in Canada. I think it's supposed to be in the south, though, of the US, but there's a couple good kills. I mean, there's one where he crushes this guy's head with a giant rock. There's one where this girl's doing yoga, and she's in the middle of the woods, but she's like on the edge of a cliff, and he sneaks up on her, and she can't run anywhere. And he's like pulling her head through her body, and some of those kills were pretty inventive. but a number of them were off screen, and it's just like it just takes a while to get there. It's like I get it, just like you know, like this one guy, he I think paralyzes him, and then he puts him on this machine. I think it like is cutting wood. It just takes forever though. It's just like get to the damn point. Is this in a violent nature? It's in a boring nature in many ways. So, and then there's the final girl, but you really don't know much about her. I mean, really, she's like barely in it. So the summary is when a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by horrific 70-year-old crime, his body is resurrected and becomes hellbent on retrieving it. Yeah, but it seems like there was like 2 lockets. What was with that? And then if the whole point is to get the locket, why have it and get it in the first like 10 minutes of the movie? You know, wouldn't you want to stretch that out till the end? I don't know. It's directed by Chris Nash. I haven't seen any of the stuff he's directed. ABCs of Death 2, The Birthday Massacre 1, In a Violent Nature. He did special effects, on-set creature effects for Supervisor for Psycho Gorman. I think he was an actor in The Void. Or something. Transformed Sarah. So maybe he did special effects on that. I reviewed that. I don't know. Is that better than this? I don't know. Like, I'll give the movie this. It is a unique movie, and they're trying to do something different, so that gives it some points. I will never want to watch this movie ever again. It's definitely, especially after like an hour, it's boring. It's boring. And then at the very end, there's the final girl, and she survives, and he's chasing her through the woods, and somehow she gets a giant piece of wood stuck in her leg. Like, and that's off screen too, so they don't really show how that happens. And she's limping, and he's chasing her, and then luckily a car stops, and she gets in the car, and then she's bleeding all over the place, and the driver's telling this like weird story, and then she's like, well, what happened to you? And then she doesn't tell her that it's a psycho dude in a mask trying to, and he killed all of her friends, and now he's trying to kill her, but she never tells her that. I was like, why don't you tell her that? And then she says it was an animal. So then she stops, and then she's gonna patch up her leg, and the girl's like, no, keep going. And she's getting pissed at her. And then you think like the guy's going to jump out of the woods and kill both of them, or he's going to jump out of the back of the car and kill him, or, you know, something, because they keep showing the woods like he's somewhere. But no, nothing happens. But she won't tell him what happened to all of her friends. So I was like, why don't you just tell her? So it makes, I don't know, it makes no sense. And then it takes a while for him to even get the mask. That was kind of funny though, when he used the body of one of the guys he throws it against like a glass wall, and then it's like, I think it's like a wall in a ranger station where they're showing like the historic, you know, loggers, what they would use, and he grabs the gear and puts it on, and he uses the body to like break the glass. It's kind of funny. But yeah, this is it's a movie I will never watch again. So they started filming in 2021. It was released 3 years later. Director Chris Nass describes the film as a test of patience, adding that horror movies often reward that patience to the audience. Well, I don't think you really reward it that much. Because I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. 5.5, just because they're trying to do something different, and it is kind of like Jason's movie from his perspective, but I just didn't. There wasn't enough meat on the bone. There wasn't enough. The original title was Sleeping Animal. So, Rye Barrett, who plays Johnny, revealed that the monster's mask was designed by director Chris Nash. The mask had different versions, each with different visibility features. Yeah, and also, you wouldn't be able to see anything out of that mask. There's no way. I mean, it's even worse than the Jason mask. You'd barely be able to see anything except for, like, right what's in front of you. The main challenge lay in the fogging of the goggles and the visibility provided by the mask, yeah, which would have been little to none. When wearing the full headpiece, the mask would fog rapidly, causing it to block the vision, making it necessary to carefully time movements and remember steps to hit specific marks. An alternative with the front of the mask open seemed to be more manageable, but that presented another issue, with cinematographer Pierce Derricks following closely behind. If the monster turned his head too fast, you'd see the actor's nose sticking out, so Barrett would kind of have to steer his shoulders in a certain direction to give the cinematographer time to know where he was going to turn. When referring to the no-score nature of the film, director Chris Nash stated that he wanted the film to be a blank canvas, and to be stark and objective as possible. He didn't want to influence the audience by any type of music. So, and he says he reshot 70% of the movie. The number fluctuates depending on my mood, but it's around 70%. We did 4 weeks of shooting in a completely different location with a different lead actor who succumbed to a medical problem a week and a half into production, so we had to replace our main monster man actor. He's in a costume the entire film, so I thought if we could find somebody the same size, same build, roughly, we could get away with it. But that's about it. Just a quick review of a movie that I never will watch again, but I give it some points for... I liked some of the shots. I liked some of the stuff in the forest. You know, it's trying to do something unique. It is shot in this, like, weird aspect ratio. Like, but it's like a box, kind of. I don't know, it's a little weird. I was like, why aren't you just doing, like, widescreen? Because then you could really see the forest, you know? But, I don't know, maybe it was a budget thing. Obviously, very small budget, but... yeah. So, but if you could do me a favor and smash that like button, that'd be great. Really helps the channel. Comment below and let me know if you've seen the movie. If you agree, or if you love the movie. Can't really see why, but yeah, it's not rated. Oh, that's interesting. That's what it says on IMDb anyways. It has no rating. So, but that's about it. See you next time.